Here's a recap.
Alright, we are live. I'm going to move that red thing down. Just take it off.
Oh, another one fell down.
Yep, another one fell down.
Another one bites the dust.
And another one gone. And another one gone.
Did that literally just get moved as I turned around? I feel like it did. We are super professional.
Yeah.
Yep, it totally did. Alright.
We're super professional, guys. This
Going
is...
super well. There we go. You're
Awesome. Alright. What's up, guys? Role ConTROLL here again, being professional as always. You know us. So, quick little Dude, the camera's right there.
You can do that.
So professional. Quick recap from last week. Check out our Facebook. We have a member who updates it regularly.
Hi. Yes.
And that's where our
Sometimes
recap
I
is.
join, and then we do it together.
Yes, if you ever need a refresh for what happened the week before, I do a Role ConTROLL refresh, which is for myself as a player, my other players, my DM, and of course you viewers. I do it between 5:30 and 6:30 on Tuesday, so it's right before, so you can watch that and then hop over here.
And we'll give a quick 30-second rundown of what happened last week. Trials happened. Some people did well. Some people did poorly.
We faced our fears to varying levels of success.
And there was some intergroup drama. The group ended up walking to meet the king. And so that's where we're going to pick up. And I think we're just going to start. Or do we have any reason not to?
Nope.
Okay.
I have some complaints.
Oh boy.
Of course you do.
Let's move on. Let's ignore his complaints.
We'll talk about them later.
You need to file them properly, okay? Like you
there's a
I never got the HR report.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You need to stay
That
with
would
the
be
front
me.
on with those TPS
Bureaucratic
reports.
nonsense.
About those TPS reports. Okay.
So the group right now is being escorted into the room with the king. The king of the true swords, that is. The doors kind of open up. There are probably 10 or so guards around, 2 at the doors. You guys are being escorted by 4 guards right now. And you do have Azanar with you. He's in the back, just kind of chilling, as usual. Very silent type. Doesn't make many large decisions for the group or anything. You guys enter the room.
I bow.
Okay. Welcome. You guys have been interesting from what I hear. Good reports.
Oh, that's good.
Bad reports.
That's not so good.
I don't know what to do with you. So, I'll let the queen take over, and each of you will individually meet with the queen. She has been briefed on all of your interactions in the trials.
Oh, in the trials, okay.
So, you will be escorted back to the barracks and brought out one by one and interviewed by the queen. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Alright, I look forward to seeing what happens here. He lets out a bit of a smile. And then the one of the guards steps up and starts escorting you guys out.
Okay.
Unless somebody wanted something to say or do anything?
Nope.
Oh, that's good.
Alright.
Little tension in the room.
Little tension?
I'm not implying there should be a lot of tension. It's not like a... It's just that's interesting.
I was thinking between us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Self-generated.
You guys can enter back into the barracks, and
We do that.
and one of the guards says, "We'll be in to grab the first one of you in about 5 minutes," and then he walks out.
Well, it wasn't an outright no.
Why didn't they just, grab one of us? Why did they send us all back? It just seems inefficient.
It's a part of... It's what they do. It's what most nobles do.
whatever.
They don't care about efficiency so much as making us wait.
Whatever.
I'm gonna go lay down.
Oh, I hope you don't
How
go first.
are
then.
you always tired?
No, I just want to lay down.
Alright, whatever.
Hey, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to braid hair?
Yeah.
Can you braid mine? I don't like it in a ponytail. I just don't want to see this.
Sure. Are you
right
looking
now.
for like 2 braids or like 1 French braid?
My
or
usual
like...
braid, around the crown and
Yeah,
the
yeah,
back?
yeah. I can do that.
Okay.
So I spend time braiding Wick's hair.
Okay, are you guys gonna do any talking, or you just want to wait out the
That's
couple minutes?
pretty much what we did just talk.
Start. I start like I think I'm a little bit like awkward at first, like certainly willing to, but like feeling kind of strange about the like social dynamic in the room. But once I start doing it, like having a task in front of me is like a good thing.
Okay.
So.
All right. So after a couple minutes, one of the guards comes in and says, "Which one of you is Wick?"
That would be me.
All right, follow me.
Okay, thanks, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
I follow.
2 guards escort you down the hall,
Come on, really, two? They're tiny.
and you make a couple.
You
windings.
hate being underestimated. And now you are sad that they did not underestimate you. Okay.
Kind of towards the throne room, but then veers off, not going to the throne room, and you kind of go into what we'll consider a medieval type of office.
A study?
Yeah, sure, a study. We'll go with
It's got
study.
an abacus in the corner.
We get it. You work. Jeez.
It's a working king.
And okay, so you enter the room, and the queen is just sitting behind a desk and motions for you to sit. The guards stay outside.
I bow and then sit.
Wick, something Tibbers.
Brina Allywick Rowan Tibbers. But
Well,
everyone calls me Wick.
it's a pleasure to have you here.
You as well. I'm sorry, milady. I do not believe I ever got your name.
It's Queen Carleen.
Queen Carleen. Thank you. It's an honor to meet you.
It's an honor to meet you as well. So, why don't you explain to me the choice that you made to save your friend Valchar in the trials? Why did you go that way? Why not the other path?
My friends are important to me. They mean so much. I wouldn't be here without them. Especially Valchar. He's helped me get away from my hometown and see more of the world. And also, I'm loyal to my friends. That's who I am. I couldn't take down a god. I couldn't even think of taking down a god without them.
Well, it looked like your mind had a way for you to potentially take down the god, and you chose your friend. So, what brings you here to the True Swords? What are you really loyal to? What is your goal?
I'm loyal to the good in people. And I'm loyal to honor and friendship. I'm here so that I can save the world, but I know I can't do it on my own. I know that I need my friends and that we need help, and that's why I'm here. That's why we came to you. There's something very dark and very evil out there, and we're nowhere near ready to take it on. We tried, and we didn't even get close.
Like, potentially one of your brothers?
My 2 oldest are very strong, powerful wizards. Kellen is less magically inclined, like me, but he is I'm sure he doesn't want to see the world burn.
So why do you want to join the True Swords?
We were given very small descriptions of the clans, and after talking with the group, we felt that the True Swords fit who we were best, and also fit somebody who would want to not see Asmodeus rise to power, who would want to help save the world. We need allies who want to help.
Can you make the hard choices when you have to? This task that you've undertaken may require you to let some of your friends go, and they may pass away. Are you willing to do that for what needs to be done on your quest?
If it really is the only option, yes. But every book I've read, every story I've heard about the heroes, it's never a hero. It's a hero and their friends.
Right, but there are always more heroes than get to be. If there were 6 heroes that you read about, there were probably 10, 20, 30 to start, and they didn't make it.
But that didn't mean their friends didn't try to help them first. That's part of it. If I just let my friends die, what makes me better than Asmodeus?
It could be the difference between destroying Asmodeus and letting him get away, and that's something you need to be aware of.
Thank you, but I think you're mistaken. I think if I were to just walk away from someone in need, it means I've already failed in stopping Asmodeus. That includes my friends. If there's truly nothing I can do, then I can walk away. But I don't believe that was an instance where there was truly nothing I could do. I couldn't take down I couldn't take down Asmodeus burning Weldstone without my friends.
It seemed like your mind put a way of defeating him in there.
Maybe.
So, what do you need of the True Swords? You say you need help. What do you need? Do you need money?
We need allies. People who, when the time comes, are ready to defend the world. People who are willing to lose things that mean a lot to them. I am willing to lose those things, but not without a fight.
Well, in order to pledge anything, we have to win the trials. What can you bring to the True Swords to help us win these trials?
I'm very strong, and I've learned a lot in my life. I've learned how to fight, and I'm learning magic. I can bring strength and loyalty.
Well, that's the question. Loyalty to your friends, loyalty to your clan, loyalty to your country.
Why are they not one and the same?
Because they're not always the same. The world is not a book. The world is very complicated, and you have to make tough decisions sometimes.
Books are complicated too. My friends will be part of the clan if I am. I assume you're going to take all of us or none of us anyways.
That's not necessarily true.
And the clan becomes part of the country no matter who wins at the end of this, right?
Well, the question is then, if we are fighting and Valchar is in trouble, who would you go to? If
whoever
have to
needs the
pick
most
one.
help.
Well.
And in that instance, the person who needed the most help and the person I could help was Valchar.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Thank you, milady.
Okay.
I leave.
All right, you can head out the door, get escorted back. I think I nicked the table and I bumped the camera. If we can.
Nope,
Very
pretty
good.
good.
Oh, yeah, it's a little off center. Can we tighten it? Yeah. See, it just gets bumped a little bit. Moves a bunch. You gotta pull this here and then turn it to the right.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, you look good.
Am I the only one that feels like they're about to go into a meeting with their manager?
It's a review.
After you just called a coworker the C word,
Yeah.
like I'm in
It's
trouble now.
we're going to
Is that-
HR.
Tell me that's not a thing you do.
Not
Okay,
often.
we're just gonna move past
Yeah.
that. No, it's like my weakness is that I'm too dedicated.
Yeah.
Right.
I work too hard. That's the problem.
I will have a panic attack in my office. Yeah.
And if the other three want to discuss or do anything while any interview is going on, speak up. Otherwise, we're just going to skip to the next person.
Balcho's just staying
things simple.
quiet.
Keep it rolling.
Okay. Wick will be escorted back, and the guards will go, which one of you is Sai?
Hey.
Follow us.
All
Bad
right.
luck.
You're escorted to the same room. You enter. It's empty.
There's nobody in it?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, I'll grab a seat.
Okay. About a minute later, the queen enters. Sai, welcome.
Thank you.
She takes a seat. Well, I must say, you were probably the biggest surprise that we had. We had the least expectations for you, and you performed admirably.
Well, I guess that's a good thing.
Why don't you explain why you decided to slit your own throat? What you have a lot to live for. You have friends to live for. You have a country to save. What is the importance of this one random boy that you know nothing of over potentially a hero of the realm?
Well, I mean, if you think about the alternatives, either I had to kill myself was an option, obviously.
Right.
Kill the boy was an option, obviously. Have the boy kill me, or wait in jail forever. And I am not exactly the type to survive in a prison. In fact, I'd personally just rather not survive in a prison. So that kind of cut the options down to kill the boy, which I wasn't going to do. Let the boy kill me, which seems almost crueler, or kill myself. And I'm not going to kill a child. I mean, let's be honest. You said yourself you were surprised, right?
Yes.
Nobody really expects much from me. I don't always expect very much from myself, but a kid could be anything, good or bad. Could be the best of us, could be the worst of us. So, I'd rather take my chances with them.
So you value a random stranger over your own importance to this world?
I mean, I guess my own perceived importance. What would you have done?
My mind probably would come up with a completely different choice. I would not be put in that situation. I do not fear chains.
That's good.
Why do you want to join the True Swords?
Honestly,
Yep. That's what we're looking for.
did you know that the Wraithbanes approached me a couple nights ago?
I was not aware.
Well, they woke me up in the middle of the night. I had a meeting with somebody, and I obviously turned them down. I figured if I wouldn't be telling you about this, right? They didn't exactly seem like the save the world type.
They're not.
So, you all, while you might not exactly fit with my personal beliefs, or your actions might not necessarily fit my actions, do. I'd much rather have the Wraithbanes as an enemy and you as an ally than the alternative.
Well, if you don't come here, then you don't have any enemies. In the Dwarven kingdoms, at least.
I mean, I'd much rather stay. I mean, well, if you ask me, my best fit, if it was just me and I was picking my own guild or clan, I'd probably pick the what are they called? The Shadow Cloaks.
With Thalgus?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be involved in any of this contest and bureaucracy. I'm much better at gathering information than I am in an outright fight. I'd probably be more helpful to them. They'd probably be more helpful to me. But I mean, we're not exactly. This entire world is not exactly in a position to be thinking about what each of us individually wants. We need to think as a group, and as a group, they don't really seem like the world-saving type either. So that. I hope you don't take this as you're my last pick, but you, I mean, you definitely seem that way. So you seem like a much more powerful ally in the fight ahead than the other alternatives.
The trials reveal a significant portion of who the person is if you're trained and know what it does and how to interpret it. So that's where our skepticism of you comes into play. We know that you're not. May I speak frankly with you?
Absolutely.
We know you're not a true sword. But under the right circumstances, you could be a great true sword.
I take that as a compliment.
That's what I'm trying to find out. What do you want of us? What do you want of the true swords? What are you here for? What do you need?
I don't know. We don't know exactly what the battle ahead is going to look like. We don't know who we're going to be fighting, how we're going to be fighting them. But you all seem like a type that when we call, you'll come running.
Possibly it's quite a request to write, to agree to something that doesn't have terms and conditions, if that is what you're seeking. Just to know, to think that we can bring all the 7 clans together at your beck and call is a very high opinion of yourself. We obviously want to help, but the dwarves will have to come first. We have to make sure that we are whole and we are taken care of, and that we can, and any extra aid that we can provide, it's something the true swords hold dear, and we will do the best that we can.
Is it dwarves specifically, or is it the dwarven kingdoms that you're speaking of?
The dwarven kingdoms. It is all the 7 clans.
Well, if we're a part of your clan, then I guess we'd be part of that, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Well, how can you help us win the trials? That seems to be, if you're part of the clan, that seems to be one of the biggest reasons why we would bring you into the clan. What can you provide to help us win?
I think, I heard what the trials include. I think that I would be helpful in some of those. I think that in terms of outright combat, I'm not the strongest, but I'm far from the weakest. I also think that if you need information on the other clans, I don't know whether that's permitted or not, but anything that you need outside the actual trials themselves might be something that me and my friends can take care of. And when it comes down to it, I do have some pull within my friends group. So I feel like if you value any of them higher than you value me, having me would very much help in getting them in on the trials as well.
From what we've overheard, you're not the happiest of groups, and we would really like that to change, especially if you're going to become a true sword.
We would
Keep that
too.
in mind.
Do you mind if I ask you something? You asked if you could be frank earlier. Would you mind if I'm frank?
Yeah.
What do you think that I could bring you? I mean, obviously I surprised you. Is there something specific that you're looking at? I mean, if I'm here and I'm talking to you, you're obviously considering it. Could I ask you why?
Well, see, that's the question. We don't deal with individuals of your certain skill sets quite often, and we don't really know what you can bring. We feel that maybe that's a skill set that could be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Information is power. Thalgus knows that of anyone, and people are willing to pay for it, and finding weaknesses and such may be incredibly helpful. The thing is, we don't know, and that you performed the strongest in the trials was...
I performed the strongest?
Oh, yes.
I'll have to remember that.
That was very surprising. It was very surprising.
Well, if I might add to that, I mean, let's be honest, you have plenty of people who can break other people's noses. You have plenty of people who can fight in battles and win in contests of strength. I feel like maybe having somebody like myself on your side might cover some areas that you might not know you're lacking yet.
Which is one of the reasons why you are here and not being kicked out.
Well,
You are a unique skill set. Well, anything else?
I don't think so.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're escorted back to the barracks.
Mm-hmm.
A few minutes later, one of the guards walks in. I'm gonna assume one of the two of you is Anna.
Yep, that's me.
Alright, follow me.
Alright.
He's joined by another guard. You're escorted into another room. The room's empty.
Okay. I walk in and just sort of linger awkwardly. Look around, try to see if I see anything or anyone.
Queen comes in, you drop something valuable.
I'm
so sorry.
A minute later, the queen walks in. Anna, please have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
And she has a seat as well. So, why don't you start off by explaining the decisions that you made in your trials? I mean, Sai is a great friend of yours. Valued companion. Tell me if I'm misspeaking in any way.
No.
But you chose him over other maybe more pressing issues. Why did you do that?
It's probably easiest if we go back just a little bit. He and I, he was a new recruit in my organization that I was in, and I was the leader of a small group, and the whole group was attacked by giants, and
that would explain your visions.
Yeah. All those people who were dying are people that were my adopted family at one point. And so I sort of consider myself responsible for him. I was his leader, and obviously at some point I take some of that blame for all of them dying.
So you see yourself as a mentor of sorts to him.
I don't know if he would call it that, but that's how it started, certainly. I think we've become good friends since then, but yes.
So, is that why you felt a strong connection to this individual, and
well,
what's the decision that...
You'll have to excuse me, I don't know too much about dwarves, but I have heard that loyalty to your clan or your extended family is important, and that's something that I take very seriously. Sai is at this point my extended family, and so is that group of people, and I respect that commitment, I respect that connection, and I believe that when push comes to shove, they're the most important people, ultimately, and that's something I believe if you make a commitment to join a group or an organization, that's part of it.
So you would save one instead of saving many. You would save one close friend.
I guess I can see that question. To me, it's a question of loyalty and who I've made a commitment to, and those were people I had made a commitment to protect. And if I could go back and change that and live up to it better, I would.
Well, that somewhat answers one of my other questions. If you can make the hard decisions. Being a professional as you are, you know that sometimes people may be left behind.
Yeah. All too well. I mean, I don't really feel the need to lie to you about this. It's something that wears on me. It's something that wears on me every day. But I do know that there are difficult decisions to be made, and I do know that there are times when that loyalty will be tested, and I don't think you can ever really know how you're going to act in that situation, but
well, it seems like your mind wanted to put you in that situation, and I believe you know where your mindset is now, and maybe that shows where you need to start thinking where you need to go, what you need to become, where you need to grow. If you are here for our help, you have to show that you're worthy of it. We will prove ourselves. And that brings me is why do you want to join us?
I miss being a part of something greater. When I was in the Emerald Wolf, I spent a decade of my life with them, having this group that meant so much, having this group that was fighting for things that I believed in, and brought disparate people together under something that was important to us. And there's no experience like that. I would imagine maybe you all have a similar experience here where you believe in something in common, and the bonds, the importance that you develop with the people that you're with, there's nothing that can compare to that. I miss having more of a purpose, and when I hear about the True Swords, it sounds like something that I could believe in.
It sounds like your answer there could be conflicting interests even within that, and that's something you'll need to address. I hope you know that.
Perhaps.
That's my final question. How are you going to help us win the trials if you're accepted? What do you bring? What do we gain by letting you become one of us, bringing you into the True Swords?
Well, I think that I'm probably not going to win a one-on-one hand-to-hand fight. I think that's pretty clear. But I have a mix of skills. I know the mountains very well. I have...
As do we.
Exactly. I have some amount of magical abilities. I have experience reading individuals in a group, and I'm not perfect at it, but I do have some experience leading others and insight into other people, I think.
Interesting. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm assuming you leave.
Yeah.
Okay, you leave and are escorted back to the barracks.
Or we're all trying to kill each other.
Are you guys actually doing anything? Okay.
I think we're all just kind of sitting there awkwardly, silent.
The door closes as you get in, and then almost immediately opens up. Valchar, let's go.
Well, alright.
Come on.
Good luck!
You're escorted. The guards are moving quickly with you. You're brought into a room, and you see the queen just sitting behind the desk. Have a seat.
Go take a seat.
So what are you doing?
What do you mean?
What are you doing? No excuses.
I don't understand what the question is.
You understand. What are you doing with your life? This is not Valchar. I know Valchar. This is not him.
Right now I'm just going forward with the people that I'm with.
Are you really? Or are you going backwards with them?
The group is moving forward.
Do you consider yourself a part of the group?
From recent conversations, it doesn't feel like I am, not as a whole.
And whose fault is this? No excuses. Whose fault is this?
Yeah. It's mine.
This is not the purpose why you are here. Why are you with this group? You need to move on from your past. You need to deal with it. these people have not harmed you. You need to get over the past. Lay blame where blame is due. Do you hear me?
With all due respect, I'm not here to be spoken to like a child.
My time is running short, and you need to be spoken to like this. You need to fix your problems. It is time that you regain your focus. You are destined for big things. And I am tired. I do not want to worry about this. I have much bigger things on my plate than to deal with this. You need to align yourself properly. You need to make amends. And you need to focus on the future, not the past. Her eyes shimmer silver. And a few seconds later, remember, focus. And the shape disappears and goes out in silver lines. And then the door opens. Oh, the queen walks in. Oh, you're already here. Well, just have a seat. I'll,
Woo!
As if he's not more conflicted now. Alright, hold on.
Are you okay, Valchar?
I think I was just seeing things there for a second. I didn't sleep well last night.
Okay. So, you had some interesting choices. Why did you decide to go to the fighter in your trials?
To me, that was a very easy decision. The other group that I was given an option to help out, we made it a point to not get close to each other. We all trusted each other, but we weren't close because this was always a part of the job. Is if we get caught, there's a good possibility that we get put to death. The caravan that we came across, I almost saw my entire group die in front of my eyes. So, even though I was presented with an option to take them out, I was also given that with a cost of pledging my life to this dark entity that was giving me this power. And although Kavaro, who is this fighter that you speak of, although he's not with us today, he got me out of a life that I think I would regret being down. So I am very close with him.
Do you have the capability to do what needs to be done? Because from what I've heard from your other companions, is that you are here for our help and to stop a great evil that is coming. And if you do not have the strength to face some challenge, you may be asked things that you don't want to do. But it may be what's required. Are you able to make those decisions?
I will do what needs to be done.
In the future you will, because it seems like you already had that choice.
With what was presented to me in the trials, it was either join an evil entity, which I wasn't about to do.
How do you know it was evil?
I don't. The way that the entity was speaking to me, though, was not that of a good entity. They were looking to give me power for me to serve them, as opposed to follow them. there's a difference.
To a degree. Why do you want to join the True Swords?
Well, with the groups that we were proposed with in out of character, I forget the town name.
Whalestone?
No, where we are now.
The Dwarven City.
Dwarven City.
Oh, jeez. Hold on, I have my
I
map.
probably have it written down too, but without digging for it.
Tramguard.
Dramguard.
Yes.
When we approached Dramguard, we were tasked with finding very powerful allies. And we thought that dwarves are very powerful when they are all together.
That's true.
And we figured that if we had a clan in power that one could be counted on, and two, that is righteous, then hopefully we will have those allies.
Well, what can you bring to the True Swords? What if we brought you in? How can you help us win the trials? What are you going to bring?
I'm going to step up and back up a little bit, just to kind of give a nice even bubble. Pull out my dagger and slit my hand, and then cast Cure Wounds on myself again to close it back up. I'm also very good at disguising myself, and I'll cast Disguise Self and just make myself look like her.
Amusing. Don't do that again.
I figured like it was a good way to show you the ability.
Don't do that for any True Swords anymore, but it is impressive.
Noted. I'm not exactly the strongest, so I'm not going to be able to help you at all in combat necessarily, but I can help by healing people or helping other people.
Okay. Well, do you have any other questions for me?
Just one. What is your goal if you win?
Well, I'm hardly the king, but we prefer righteousness and standing up for what's right in this world. But the dwarven kingdoms will always come first. We have to make sure that we are whole before we can allocate resources outside.
I understand that.
So, take care of ourselves, take care of our brethren, and do what we can with what's left over.
That's all I needed to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I leave.
You're escorted back to the barracks.
I'm gonna walk in like this. Like, what did I just see?
I think at some point during this, Wick has like started pacing,
Okay.
thinking.
Yeah, I think at some point, well, one of them is because you were first, right?
Yeah.
So because you came from yours and you're like had a reaction, right? You're like or something like that, right?
No, actually, Wick was pretty quiet.
Okay, okay. Just like, so how did that go?
You did say good luck after.
Yes, I did
was
say good
on
luck
the
to
Yeah,
phone.
two
maybe
of
that's
you.
what it was. Maybe
I said
that's
good
what
luck
it was.
to two of you.
Maybe that's what it was. Something you had some reaction that I like noted. So.
Yeah, it was when Sai left. I'm like, good luck.
Yeah. So how'd that go?
I don't think we picked right.
You don't? Why not?
She said it to me, and I don't know if she's gonna say it to you guys or. But she said the dwarves have to come first. The dwarven people, the dwarven clan, city, whatever, has to come first.
Well, of course they do.
Doesn't she understand? If we don't stop Asmodeus, it doesn't matter?
But
Who's in the room right now? Is
Yeah,
it just? I just want to know.
That depends on when you're doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when are you asking me this?
You're third, so
It was
If
me,
it would either be
Sai,
Valchar
Am I
King-
gone and you haven't gone yet, or have you come back and
we'll say after I come back.
Okay, so
Valchar's
Valchar's gone?
So it's the three of us.
So, well, of course, the kingdom that they're responsible for has to come first.
To an extent, but
They're the rulers of a kingdom. Their number one duty is to their kingdom.
And the kingdom's duty should be to the world. That's how it. Look, if Asmodeus takes over the world, the Dwarven city's not going to be spared.
and what do they have to go on besides our suggestions, our accounts? Have there been sightings of Asmodeus? Is it common around? They're just going on what we've said. How credible are we to
That's a
A
really
king.
good question.
Credible enough to meet with the queen.
I don't know what you did in your trials.
You're not the one who's joining up with a clan.
Nope.
I'm saying a clan that doesn't understand that sometimes cities fall doesn't mean their people do, but it does mean that you can't put the city first before the world if the world is in danger.
They don't know the world's in danger, though. Not yet. I mean, there will be a day where Asmodeus makes himself known to everybody, or to some. But I mean, everywhere we go, they're gonna owe their allegiance to their people more so than 3 or 4 people wandering the land talking about Asmodeus.
Do you propose that they regularly cross borders into the Empire and face down that corruption?
All we can do. Go ahead.
I just it doesn't sit right with me that she says that. It doesn't feel right. We're coming here asking for help, not right now, but in the future when we have proof, when we have the power to face an actual literal god.
They have to make sure their job's taken care of first. It makes sense to me.
Do you think anybody in the city would not? Do you think anybody in the city would owe us their allegiance more than the True Swords?
I'm not asking for their allegiance. They're asking us for our allegiance. But not, like you said the other night, they're not promising us actual help.
But they're the most likely to give it out of the clans that we know of. Or at least the clans that we've had interactions with.
Honestly, if they said that they were willing to wholeheartedly help us without first protecting their own people, I wouldn't trust them.
They probably wouldn't stay in power very long.
Exactly.
I mean,
They're not going to be much of allies if they're going to lose their power immediately.
if you're expecting you can walk into a castle and say Asmodeus is coming, pledge your allegiance to 4 random people. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's not realistic.
about allegiance to us.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, they're
you
taking
want
our
to.
word
They're
for
taking
it.
our word for it.
Let me know.
For
you
now.
come back.
I like this.
No, it's we're the people in the story right now. But if we don't make it, there need to be people who know, who can take our place. This isn't something that we can just let happen. And yes, I get that you have to defend your people first, but at the same time, what's the point in saving a city when the entire world burns?
What would they have said that would have made you think differently? Like what could they have said that would make us not have this conversation right now? Yes, I will give you all of our might.
No, It's more just the fact that it was said. It goes unspoken that you protect your people.
I appreciate the truth, personally.
Speaking it...
Agreed.
I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me.
Well, we haven't known them for very long. Hopefully we can do more to help them believe us by the time we're done here.
Hopefully.
Maybe that should be our goal for now.
If we even need to.
Need to what?
Well, I mean, they could just say no. We're not part of the clan, and see you in 28 days.
I hope they take us. I miss having a purpose, like... I miss it.
We have a purpose, though.
We might have a more important purpose than anybody right now.
We're the ones who know what's coming.
Doesn't feel the same.
Sorry.
It's not your fault.
That's just what I was thinking.
That's fair.
I feel like that's
Something to consider.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Valchar walks into the room.
Yeah, just kind of like...
You okay, Valchar?
That's more facial expression than we've seen in days.
Weeks.
Queen's alive, isn't she?
Oh no, please tell me you didn't kill the queen.
Oh.
Yes, she's alive. It is a little interesting that they let us in there without really any guards.
She can probably do something to defend herself. Ooh, maybe she wasn't actually there.
Also a possibility.
Well, she walked in partway through.
She was waiting for me.
Can I get everyone together?
Should I grab my swords first?
Should I walk away and come back? I think we're all here.
Let's just say yes.
Well, we're in a barracks. It's a matter of...
and comes back.
It's
Yeah, we move within
Yeah.
a small circle.
we hold hands.
No. No.
So, with full transparency, there was someone in the room before the queen walked in who looked like the queen.
Whoa.
It's not unusual to have body doubles as royalty.
And then to have them disappear after what they've said is done.
Well,
It's
like...
a little more rare.
Like an illusion, maybe? I mean,
Or did she walk away?
there are more powerful illusions that can do that kind of thing.
There are.
What do you think you saw?
I'm still trying to process that, but the queen knew my name.
Yeah.
The first
Oh, okay.
image knew my name, seemingly knew what my goal was, scolded me like a child.
All right.
Leave a little pump.
And I believe I saw my god.
Wow.
You have a god?
He's a cleric. Yeah, he has a god.
Okay.
You saw a god? Oh, that's so cool.
I'm not sure. It seriously could have just been an illusion. But I'm going to go down the fact that that was the case.
Did she know things that, like, I mean, I assume you and her god have, like, a pretty detailed relationship. Not, like, she just knows a lot about you. I mean, she's a god who he's chosen, like, you know.
Might have been a god.
Actually, if I remember correctly, you were chosen by your god. That's what you said, right?
I didn't, but I am confirming that.
You implied it.
So with that said, I wanted to apologize to everyone for how I've been. I understand I've been a huge rift in the group, and you've all had to put up with it for a while. It's, when Cavaro left, it wasn't easy. However, that's no excuse. And it's no excuse to then have when we attacked the caravan, pile up on top of that. Because that was the start of the downfall. I'm still not completely out yet. I've been still having nightmares, granted. I haven't slept since just meeting with her. But if this might be the turning point.
Wow.
I hope at least. Because I don't like the path that I was down. But I couldn't pull myself out of the downward spiral. And as much as I didn't like being scolded, it may have been necessary to snap me out of it. So, again, I just wanted all of you together just to apologize to the whole group and Cyan. Not Asmodeus. Asmodeus. There's too many As names in here. To the two of you specifically for specifically attacking you and holding you with a dagger to your back. I hope you understand the intent of it, but not necessarily to that extreme.
I mean, the intent was to threaten me.
The intent was to tell you that I was frustrated with how often Wick was being attacked by you. Although it is an accident. I was unaware of that until Wick told me about it. I'm gonna sit back down and still try and figure out what I saw.
Well, I told you just needed a lady friend.
Wick opens her journal and flips to one of the first few pages and just writes a couple of things down.
I'm gonna cast whispers into his ear. With thaumaturgy.
I'm gonna go lay down on my bed.
I know what it's like to be thrown for a loop like that. And if you want to talk about it, I have experience.
May take you up on that at some point.
When you're ready. I was waiting for when you seemed ready.
Yeah, I need to figure out what's going on in my head first. And then I'll take you up on it.
Yeah. It's good to have you back. It seems like you're in there a little more.
Like I said, I'm still trying to process what I saw, but I do feel like I've snapped out of a daze.
There's more color. I mean, obviously you're like red skin, but like there's more color in your face, light in your eye.
Red.
Yeah, right, yeah. Than we've seen in a while.
It's not the 1,000-yard stare anymore.
Yeah, there's life.
I don't feel like walking around like this anymore, so it's good.
Might want to cover your ears, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna seem out of it, but again, it's out of not just
It's a different
not
sort
the
of
1,000-yard stare, it's the contemplation stare.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just like sit nearby and do my own thinking. Sort of like close enough that we're like sort of together, but not really. You're not pressured.
Anything else from anybody?
I think Wick just pulls out, like I said, she's just writing in her journal now.
All right.
I produced the coin that I use for my
Blessing.
the blessing of the trickster. I kind of start playing with it.
Okay.
I have the prop. I might as well just actually play with it.
Could you fake play with a prop while your prop is laying on the table, please? That would make me feel better.
I wish I had like the coin tricks that Connor has in Detroit Become Human. Just
Yeah.
Oh, the passive effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that either.
I feel like I'd be really good at it, but practicing makes me feel like I look stupid.
I feel
so.
like Sai would be really good at it.
I guess if it would require a sleight of hand check,
Yeah,
then maybe.
Dex.
But
All right, the door opens up. All right, you four. Why don't you come with me? We'll meet the king.
Okay.
Alright.
I'll escort you guys.
Just real quick question. If we don't get accepted into the clan, is there any chance we can still stay here for a little bit?
let's take this one step at a time.
I'm not leaving another city without looking at the temples.
That's not going to be up to me.
I mean libraries.
Subtle.
Writing down notes.
And I kind of like twigs a little bit, but decides it's better to leave it alone.
Is this the moment where Sean Connery introduces the cook in Hunt for Red October? Is this that scene? I knew it.
I guess we follow.
Okay, you guys follow. Alright, you enter the throne room again. The king is just like this.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Oh, you four have been interesting.
Interesting makes a good story.
So, if it was just up to me, I would have had you all escorted out. But the queen seems to think that there is some hope for all of you yet. You proved yourselves by bringing me the hands. Some of you did better than others in the trials. Overall, from what I heard, I think you failed the trials.
Ouch.
But the queen has strongly suggested that we see what you're willing to do for the true swords and possibly then grant you status within us. There is, below our city, deep in the caves, there is a forgotten small city that had many things left behind. There is a old study / library that may provide help for us for the trials. If you can bring back
Everything. All the books.
She'll take that on as just a personal quest, like...
Maybe we let the king speak. Good talk.
bring back all that could aid us in winning the trials. And there's also rumor, I'm not exactly sure, there is rumored to be a powerful hammer. Bring that back to me. along with the scrolls. And you can be a true sword. True swords. All of you.
What if the rumor is false? What if there's no hammer? Do we bring proof that there's no hammer then?
How would
How
you
would we
go
do
about
that?
doing that?
Yeah, Polaroids don't exist.
Just do your best to find it. Don't disappoint.
Where is this information coming from? And is it information only to you, or is it possibly everyone else?
Comes from the Shadow Cloaks, so take that as you will.
So potentially a race.
You mentioned some scrolls.
Potentially help.
Did you have certain scrolls in mind? Or just anything that helps?
Anything that's going to help us win the trials.
Everything.
We'll see how much you can carry.
I'm sure I can load you with a couple. They're pretty light.
Maybe the hammer.
Oh, please, like you can pick up a hammer.
How do we get to the
Okay, enough. We will escort you to the entrance of the Forgotten Caves. When returning... I'll station someone there.
How long do we have? Roughly.
Well, if you want to help for the next trial tomorrow,
Is the next one the second or third?
it would be the second trial.
Okay.
Just,
It's the brewing one.
it's the crafting a mighty
crafting.
weapon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are any of you exceptional blacksmiths?
No.
I know some of it. My father was a blacksmith, or is a blacksmith, but I'm not super experienced. I'm familiar, but not.
So you couldn't help craft the best weapon of all of the
I
clans?
would not put my skills at that level, no.
Okay.
Does it give prerequisites for crafting?
Or just having.
What do you mean?
If we bring
The hammer.
plans
Oh.
for
Oh.
a great weapon, or if we bring a weapon that, not to cheat the system or anything, but a weapon that was crafted by your elders.
Ancestors?
I mean, what exactly does it say?
It says who can craft the mightiest weapon. Anything along those lines are not something I would want to be involved in. But what help you could provide would be greatly appreciated.
So try to be
Understood.
back by tomorrow.
The next trial after that is in 5 days.
That sounds a little more reasonable.
I will post a guard at the entrance, near the entrance, for 5 days. If you were to come after that, I would suggest taking another tunnel out, trying to get out, not through the town, the city.
How far down is this city?
It's a ways.
Like half a day's travel? Or is that too far, too near?
Potentially, we have not traveled down there.
Okay.
We just got word that,
It exists.
yep,
I suppose that means we should get to work.
Sounds like.
With the city shut down as it is there a way for us to get additional
Ooh.
supplies?
Yeah.
I could use more. I mean, we could use
Healing potions?
things, weaponry, sort of basic supplies, that sort of thing as well.
basic supplies. He looks over the queen. Gives him like a nod. Yes, you will be given basic supplies, rations, arrows, as you would want. Anything? What other needs do you have?
Could we buy at least 1 or 2 healing potions?
Take them.
Thank you.
One of the guards walks up and hands you 2 of the lesser healing potions.
Perfect. Does anybody want to hold on to one? I'm holding on to one. Or I can hold on to both.
I'll take one.
You can do this later.
He has a point.
Okay.
Go. Prove my wife right to trust in you. Go.
Do you know of any of the dangers that might be between us and there? Any particular creatures of note?
Many dangers. We don't know.
Okay.
Let's get going.
Alright.
Thank you.
I assume we head back to the barracks and get our stuff first.
Yep. The guards can bring you back there.
Yep. Put on pants. To be fair, I never specifically said I put on pants.
You also never specifically said
Let
you
it be
took
quoted.
off pants.
Canon.
You just said
Yeah.
you laid down.
Yeah.
Are we? Is it break time?
Yes, I think it's probably a good time for break time.
Woo!
We will be back in, let's say, 10 minutes, just to be fair.
Quickly!